Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, your trusted source for in-depth political analysis and South African news that mainstream media often leaves out. Today, we take a closer look at a dramatic and growing standoff between suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu and the South African Police Service itself. According to fresh reports, Mchunu's legal team has issued a stern warning to certain senior police officers, accusing them of harassment, intimidation, and unlawful behavior during the ongoing investigation into his alleged misconduct. This latest development adds another layer of tension to an already volatile political atmosphere, one that many analysts say reflects a deeper power struggle inside South Africa's law enforcement and political structures. Let's break down exactly what's happening, why it matters, and what this could mean for the credibility of the country's justice system. Senzo Mchunu, a seasoned politician and long-serving member of the ANC, was suspended last month by President Cyril Ramaphosa. His suspension came amid allegations relating to the awarding of security contracts, a matter that is now under investigation by law enforcement agencies. Mchunu, however, has consistently maintained his innocence, saying that the entire saga is politically motivated and part of an internal plot to discredit him. Now, his legal team has gone on the offensive. In a firm and formal letter sent earlier this week, Mchunu's lawyers accused certain SAPS officials of crossing the line. They claim that officers involved in the investigation have been contacting Mchunu directly, ignoring legal protocol, and even leaking confidential details to the media to manipulate public perception. According to the lawyers, this kind of behavior not only violates Mchunu's rights, but also compromises the integrity of the investigation itself. They have demanded that all communication goes strictly through official channels, and that no one from SAPS should approach the suspended minister without proper authorization. Behind the scenes, sources close to the case suggest that some members of the investigative team may be acting outside their mandate, using their positions to pressure witnesses and spread information that paints Mchunu in a negative light. If true, this would not only be unethical, but could also amount to an abuse of power. This is where things start to get really interesting. The Independent Police Investigative Directorate, or IPID, has now been drawn into the matter. Mchunu's team has lodged formal complaints alleging procedural misconduct by some SAPS members involved in his case. IPID has acknowledged receiving the complaint, but, for now, is keeping silent, likely due to the sensitivity and potential political consequences of what could emerge from this investigation. Legal experts say that Mchunu's decision to go public and legally challenge the conduct of SAPS is both bold and risky. It's bold because it directly confronts the police hierarchy, an institution that is supposed to be independent and beyond political interference. But it's risky because it could backfire, especially if investigators can prove that their actions were legitimate and in line with the law. What's most concerning about this case is that it exposes growing tensions between political leaders and the security forces, a pattern that South Africans have seen before. Every time a senior politician faces allegations, questions arise about whether investigations are being carried out fairly or whether political interests are at play behind the scenes. Professor Mfo Radebe, a respected political analyst, commented that this confrontation is unusual and worrying. According to him, the visible clash between the suspended minister and the police leadership raises serious questions about internal discipline and the independence of law enforcement agencies. It's a situation that could erode public trust, especially if citizens begin to see the justice system as being manipulated for political gain. But what's really at stake here goes far beyond Senzo Mchunu himself. It's about how accountable and transparent South Africa's institutions truly are. If even a sitting minister can claim to be harassed or unlawfully targeted, what does that say about the system's treatment of ordinary citizens? It's also important to remember that Mchunu's relationship with certain political figures has been strained for quite some time. Some insiders within the ANC suggest that his suspension was less about misconduct and more about internal power plays. They claim that factions within the ruling party are using law enforcement agencies to settle political scores, something that, if proven, could deal another major blow to the ANC's already damaged image. For context, Senzo Mchunu is not just any political figure. Before his suspension, he had built a reputation as a no-nonsense minister known for cracking down on inefficiency and corruption within SAPS. His decision to disband the Political Killings Task Team earlier this year already sparked controversy, with some police officials reportedly opposing the move. That dispute may have deepened divisions within the police hierarchy, divisions that now appear to be resurfacing as this new legal battle unfolds. Meanwhile, the presidency has remained largely silent on the issue. President Ramaphosa has made no further public comment since announcing Mchunu's suspension, perhaps preferring to let the legal process take its course. However, critics argue that this silence could be interpreted as a sign of political distance, a move to protect the president from any fallout if the investigation goes south. As of now, Mchunu's legal team says they are ready to explore all legal options if the alleged harassment continues. This could include seeking court orders, filing additional complaints with IPID, or even taking the matter to the Constitutional Court if they believe Mchunu's rights are being violated. This entire saga has placed enormous pressure on SAPS, IPID, and the government as a whole to show that they can handle politically sensitive cases without bias or abuse of power. The public is watching closely, and many South Africans are beginning to ask, who really controls the country's security forces, and are they serving justice or political masters? In the end, this case could become a defining moment for South Africa's democratic institutions. It will test whether our justice system can remain truly independent, and whether leaders like Mchunu can get a fair hearing in an environment where politics and policing have become dangerously intertwined. As the story develops, we'll continue to follow every detail and bring you updates right here on this channel. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into South African politics. Now, tell us in the comments, do you think Senzo Mchunu is a victim of political harassment, or is this just part of a legitimate investigation into misconduct? And what do you think this means for the independence of South Africa's police and justice system? Thank you for watching, stay informed, and see you next time.